Welcome to the Hot Ass PLOPCAST number 1, Volume 2, Season 2, whatever it is.
Reboot
with your host, Comic Girl 19.
Woo! I'm here. I'm excited. And today I have my co-pilot T-Bone. And we also have this week's special guest. The Garbage Man.
Yeah, the Garbage Man's here.
It's the Garbage Man.
Back up that trash. I ain't afraid to get my hands dirty.
So first up, I want to talk about Epic History X-Men Volume 2, The Phoenix Saga. It is on Vimeo on demand right now for the price of a comic book. It's over an hour about the X-Men, specifically the Phoenix Saga. And the first 10 minutes we just uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you can check that out, get a taste, see if you want some more.
Have you watched Epic History X-Men yet, Garbage Man?
I'd like to say I have, but I haven't.
Okay.
Garbage Man has...
Well, I'd be curious what your review is.
He has sparse internet access nowadays.
Okay. Well, yeah, when you're
Your Wi-Fi
homeless.
situation's a little spotty.
Garbage game hasn't been what it used to be.
So, yeah, we put the first 10 minutes out, and it's gotten some really good feedback.
Oh, yeah,
that
everybody's loving
really
it.
Gave a boost in sales, so we're happy about that.
And everybody who has bought it has been really positive. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think we've had...
Have you seen a bad review
I've
yet?
not seen one bad review.
Okay. Either
And that's
everyone's
surprising,
being
'cause
too
it's the
nice,
internet.
Or it's just that good.
I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see. You decide.
So there's a lot more to say on that, but we're going to move on. Transition to original documentaries.
Oh.
The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened?
Yes.
Documentary by
Yes.
John Schnepp. We saw it.
And Holly Payne, yes.
And Holly Payne, yes. And you went to the premiere of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Tell people what that's about, for those that don't know.
Okay, so Superman Lives was a movie that was in production, I believe, in the early 90s. It was a Superman movie by Tim Burton, starring Nicolas Cage in the titular role. If you do not know, Nicolas Cage is obsessed with Superman, so
Wow,
he was...
Tim Burton's Superman movie.
Tim Burton, this is after he did the Batman movies. So,
His
like...
kid's name Kal-El, too, right?
Yeah, he did name his kid. Well, it's
that's what
odd. I mean, the idea of having a Tim Burton Superman does sound really odd, but it is something
I
that I
would
would
love
like
to
to
see
see. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what the fuck is that going to look like? Because I have
Interesting.
no fucking idea.
Out of control.
But they put a ton of money into this movie, but then it all just kind of fell apart. It was one of those doomed productions. You know, we've been talking about doomed production movies. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. They had all these interviews in there with... Tim Burton was interviewed. They got the best interview
They
by
got some
far.
great interviews.
The best interview by far is the John Peters interview. He's the
Ugh.
crazy producer that was working
So, Garbage
with them.
Man, you saw this movie. Finally, after
Garbage
45
Man
minutes.
did see.
We've gotten
this
to a movie you have seen.
Yes.
Okay,
It
so
was
what was
on
your
my
review of
route
it?
that night. I was at the premiere, too. Just
Oh, you
not
were?
sitting in a seat. Just taking out the fucking trash. But yes, John Peters, what a fucking piece of trash. That man.
Can you believe
Crazy.
that's a major, the highest level Hollywood producer? That's what they're
Oh.
like.
You fail
And
upwards.
people want to know why movies with original content don't get made. It's because of John Peters.
Well,
Quaff, man. That is a serious quaff.
It
Like,
was
that's like an
just-
hour or two.
I
fucking
mean, it
dealing
was
with
like
your hair.
Donatello came down from the heavens and
It
just
was-
sculpted this motherfucker's haircut.
Well, he was a hairdresser for Barbra Streisand who started dating Barbra Streisand, and that's how he somehow ended up becoming
Yeah.
a producer in Hollywood.
Again, there has never been a hairstylist for Barbra Streisand that hasn't been gay.
wait. Come on. Okay, hold that. Let's back up. For people out of context that don't know anything about John Peters, he's the guy that Kevin Smith made fun of many years before that in his stand-up routine that he went
Yeah.
around the country talking about Wild Wild West, which was a huge bomb and a ridiculous movie
Yeah.
that has a giant mechanical spider. He was telling this routine about Kevin Smith, writing a Superman script and John Peters forcing this giant spider in the script the whole time, which was such an absurd idea.
And then when Superman fell through, and the next project he went on to, which was Wild Wild West, he fucking got his giant spider. Like, he really wanted a giant spider
Yes.
in a movie. He finally fucking got it in Wild Wild West. And that is why...
You know what? I mean, Spider-Man fighting a giant spider with Tim Burton at the helm.
Well,
there.
sure. Tim Burton would have made it work better than Wild Wild West did,
of course.
for sure.
Yeah.
fucking
and
course,
it was a Thanagarian snare beast.
Oh yeah, I forgot they keep coming up with this stupid fucking
Yeah,
name for
the
this thing.
Thanagarian snare beast.
Snare beast,
Oh, yeah.
a
John
snare
Peters,
beast.
defended like, no, it's not ridiculous at all.
Yeah,
Snare
John-
beast. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Excuse me, I gotta take this call.
I know. He's in the middle of an interview and he's fucking taking calls. Like, he's so crazy. And then he says he got into 500 street fights.
Right. That's the most ridiculous thing.
I forgot about that.
But his fists are huge. If you look at them, they're like huge. Like, he has been punching something. Like, or something's
he's been filling them full of silicone at the fucking plastic surgeon's office.
He really said he got into 500 street fights.
Yes.
500 street fights.
Yes.
I mean,
think about it. If you got into a fight every single weekend, how many years would it take?
It's like 10 years of getting in a fight every week.
Yeah,
Irish bare-knuckle boxer fresh off the boat in 1830 New York didn't get into 500 street fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fucking ridiculous. It's just out of control.
But let's take his word for it for a second. That would mean he's going out every weekend, and he would have to be initiating these fights.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because he's got this magic number in his fucking, I gotta get to 500 before I start cutting Barbra Streisand's fucking hair. What is this guy's problem?
I mean, the documentary did say that, he would come in and kind of bully all the artists.
Oh, yeah, they would put artists in headlocks and stuff.
Yeah, and I like it. He's gonna, some people will call me a bully. Like, maybe you should stop being a fucking bully, dude.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I believe he's a bully, yeah.
Well, I liked when one of the artists, the conceptual artist, was like talking shit about him, and he was like, he acts like he's so fucking tough, but he comes in and he beats up artists. Like, let me see him beat up a fucking bear or something,
Shooting fish in a barrel.
Like, yeah, he's
Well,
like,
that's what bullies
fucking
do. They pick on anyone that's weaker than them.
Yeah.
They don't pick on someone their size.
That's
And
true.
he comes in and brings in his kids, and they just tear the place to
I
pieces.
know. I love he brought in like his child and woman army, and just like, oh god, it's so great. Like, it's the John Peters interviews are just amazing. Alone, just
At the
that
same
is
time,
worth price of admission for
people
Death
are
of
gonna,
Superman Lives.
you sort of, this guy's a character, but it's great that he got him for this interview. I mean, that is...
Yeah, that's
This is
ballsy.
an impossible person
And you
to
could
get.
tell it was the last interview, too, so he
Oh,
was
yeah,
already
yeah,
stacked
yeah.
with all the beautiful ammo.
I think the
and things
movie
to
would have
bring
come
up.
out a year earlier if he hadn't got that interview.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was great.
Well,
But
I
that's
really
great.
also like the stuff with Steve Johnson, he was the guy who's in charge of all the practical effects that were going to be in this movie, that were like really insane practical effects. And it showed like their process and like some of the crazy like Superman outfits they were coming up with, and, like with all these fucking lights all through this like plastic that was iridescent, like it had all these interlocking pieces. It was
Before computers.
It was crazy, like the stuff they were coming up with, and from a practical effects perspective, like that's something I'm interested in. I loved seeing all that stuff. Steve Johnson, if you didn't know, like he did a lot of the stuff for Ghostbusters. He did my favorite movie, Fright Night. He's badass. So he's like he's like the practical effects Tony Stark,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, this would have been a fun movie. It's too bad we didn't get it.
Yeah.
But that's why it was a fun documentary, and I like seeing this stuff.
Yeah. Super into the Doomed production stuff lately.
Speaking of Doom Productions, we watched the other documentary on the island of Dr. Moreau's Doom production.
Oh yeah, Lost Soul.
Yeah.
I haven't
The
seen
Doomed
that yet.
production of Richard Stanley's
Yeah.
Island of Dr. Moreau.
Right. That was a really good one.
That was a good one.
It starts a little slow. It's just about the director and his journey to get the movie made. But then after about 30 minutes, the story gets really interesting when they get on set and there's all these conflicts, and especially with Marlon Brando.
Oh, he was crazy.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes, it's on Netflix right now.
Apparently, Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer were just like sent from hell to just fuck with production. Like they were just fucking with everyone.
I don't know why you would hire those. Again, we got a Miles Teller, David O. Russell situation going on. These motherfuckers just banging heads.
What was fascinating about this is I never heard this scenario happen on set. Is that both of those guys realized this movie's going to be a piece of garbage. This is going to be a horrible movie, but we're in a contract. We have to finish it.
Yeah.
So they just start messing with everyone and try to make a ridiculous scenario. Like Brando's sees this little character they got. I don't remember his name, but he's some kind of character. He's like the smallest man there
He's
ever
like,
was.
they cast they found the smallest man in the world. And
Brando loves him. And he's like, no, he's going to be in every scene I'm in, just with me.
He takes another guy's part. This other guy who's supposed to be his right hand man.
Yeah.
Takes the guy's part, says, fuck this guy. This guy's my right hand man.
Best day of that little dude's life.
But the best part of that whole story was someone was like, dude, what the fuck? Why did you do that? And he's like, this movie is gonna come and go. No one's fucking gonna care. But this guy is a piece of art.
And
he wanted to showcase.
And that scenario is
right.
credited for inventing the mini-me.
Yeah,
And Austin
Mini-Me
Powers.
came
totally.
from that because he
Well,
dressed the same. And
So
I don't know about
Brando
you.
gave
I
us
love
Mini-Me,
that movie.
really.
Fuck, I'm not afraid to say it.
Brando's
What?
messing
I
with
loved
this
Island
movie.
Dog
Gave us Mini-Me.
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Weird movie.
It was good. You should check it out. All right, we're going to go to a commercial break. One commercial. You can handle that, and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, now we're going to move into a new segment. We're going to not have a name for it. It's just Blu-rays we bought.
Blu-rays we bought.
Yeah.
Yay.
This is a movies podcast where we're going to talk about some movies that are on Blu-ray.
All right.
That we think you should know about.
Right. Well,
what's up first?
First up, recently I sold some DVDs and I bought some other stuff. And we got, and I like to do highbrow, lowbrow sometimes when I go to the DVD store. I like to get something that's like awesome and then something that's just like really shitty. So
I like that idea.
So we got Fantastic Four for our lowbrow selection, and we got the first season of Mad Men for our highbrow section because it was like buy one get one half off. So yeah,
Sweet.
It was a great deal. But yeah, we couldn't. We wanted to watch Fantastic Four, but we couldn't find it like on streaming
Fox
anywhere.
Pulled all the old versions of Fantastic Four offline from Amazon, Netflix, all the other services.
Right.
You
really
can't get it anywhere, so we were forced to buy it.
Yeah, we were forced to buy it.
That's embarrassing.
But this was like it was like $5.99, and I got it like half off. So I mean, don't cry for me or anything.
Yeah, Michael Chiklis is Ben Grimm. Good job, Fox.
It wasn't as bad as I didn't hate it.
He's just 5'4".
I didn't hate it. I enjoyed the gags in it, but it's not a good movie by any means.
Jessica Alba's the worst.
It's not a strong
She's
movie.
the worst.
The worst.
Oh, she's so bad. But then Mad Men. Everybody loves Mad Men. Garbage Man. How do you feel about Mad Men?
I love Mad Men. Roger Sterling, shout out.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
He's so cool. He's so pimpin'.
Matthew Weiner's a genius. I think that's one of the greatest TV shows ever made in history.
Yeah, we're going to start going back through it. We actually rewatched the pilot the other day and noticed now that we've seen the whole season, or the whole, everything, the whole show, it's like they have all these allusions to things in the very first episode that it's like I didn't know when I
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get the first season, because I want to watch the commentaries. I want to hear Matthew Weiner talk.
Well, the Jews say Weiner.
Yeah, it's
not
Weiner.
Wiener.
That's what I was telling
Be
you.
politically correct, T-Bone.
It's Weiner.
Oh, okay.
But it's spelled Wiener. I mean,
Hey.
So I want to hear Matthew
He's a whiner
Weiner's
and a wiener, so
opinion
whatever.
for the commentary.
Well, I'm excited to get into that. We also recently got They Live, John Carpenter's They Live. Rest in peace, Rowdy Piper.
Rest in peace.
This is an amazing movie if you have not seen it. This is the John Carpenter's Collector's Edition. So, we got some audio commentary. I haven't listened to the commentary yet on it. I need to.
We need to just do a whole proper video on They Live and talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's too much to even... I don't even want to bring it up at this point.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I actually had done 2 viewings since Piper's death.
Yeah.
Just as a little, I know Carpenter's coming soon.
Oh.
Did I just do it? Did I
No,
do it?
don't do it.
Did I do it?
No.
Rest in peace, John. Rest
No.
in peace, man.
Too
He's
far,
fine.
Garbage Man.
No,
Too far.
he's fine. He's fine.
Hey,
kidding.
back that up.
Although I have noticed that there's a huge wave of Carpenter-esque films coming out right now.
Yes.
Like people are finally starting to be like, this shit was awesome. Why did we stop doing awesome shit like this?
Seriously, can I get some people under the stairs, love?
You know,
Come on.
It Follows was one of them that's very Carpenter-esque.
Yes.
So was The Guest.
Yes.
Did you see The Guest?
Yes, I did.
The Guest is
you're big
so
in horror
good.
movies, all right?
Oh, I've seen The Guest about 20 times.
Dude,
right
I
now.
need to buy that on Blu-ray. But
Speaking
next time,
of original movies not doing well, that movie only made $300,000.
$300,000.
And again, if you would have showed me the trailer, if you would have told me what it was about,
Yeah.
I would have been in no rush to see it. But you can't fucking show people what real direction's about. Adam Wingard killed that shit.
Dude, it was
Congrats.
so good. It was so good. And I can't believe that it was fucking Matthew from Downton Abbey is in the fucking movie. It's like, what?
Great American
For
accent
people
on
that
that
haven't
lad.
seen The Guest, give them a brief.
Okay, so The Guest is, you have this family, and they had a son, brother, part of the family, who was in the military, and he died. And so this guy comes to their door one day, and he's like, hey, I was a friend of, your son's. We served together in the military. And the family brings him in, and he's like, hey, stay with us for a few days, like, da-da-da-da. And it turns out that he may be more than he's letting on.
Say no more. Say no more. It turns out he's a crazy badass. That's all I'll say. And just watch it from there.
Yeah.
And this guy portrays the best badass I've ever seen.
Classic,
recently.
every badass kind of situation we want to see,
Yeah.
he coughs it up.
Yeah.
That classic late 80s, early 90s scenarios of, showing up and being up,
Yeah.
all the bullies at the bar,
Yeah.
coming
and it's
in,
great.
getting the chicks, laying
It's
down
Oh
some
my gosh,
puss. It's all in there.
There is one moment in that movie, and this isn't a spoiler, but there's this part where, this girl, she's like knocking on the door, let me get in the bathroom. She thinks her little brother's in there. Opens the door, the steam comes out, and there's like this hot synth soundtrack, and he like steps out shirtless, and he's like kind of wet, and it's just like, It was so hot and awesome. I was like, as a
man
girl,
got a boner.
like, oh my god,
Even you got a boner.
It was
Even I got a
like,
boner.
it was like, oh, it was so 80s and like,
The
I
movie has
loved it.
got a great style.
Great style.
I do want to give a hot tip though. When I saw the movie in the theater and I saw the movie afterwards, it was minus the sex scene that was added during Netflix.
You saw it in the theater.
Yes.
How did you know about it to go to the theater?
It was a freak accident.
Ah.
But there is the added sex scene in Netflix that was not in the original cut.
Oh yeah, I heard that there were a lot of differences. Well, not a lot, but a few differences.
There's a
The sex
couple
scene
of-
is alluded to, but we don't see nipplage.
Yeah.
And finally, in the Netflix version,
There was-
Mr. Skin would be proud.
There was
that's
also
important.
a
Very
scene.
important.
Well, no, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. But there was another scene. That
No,
was
I think you
supposedly
could
added.
say. Well, maybe you can't without
No, I don't
spoiling
really
anything.
wanna
You're
spoil it.
right.
I don't want to spoil it.
You're
but,
right.
it's on Netflix. Last time I checked, at least. So definitely check out The Guest. And moving on. Okay, so.
What other Blu-rays did you get?
Okay, I just got the Twin Peaks Blu-ray set. I've been on a huge
that up and show it to the camera.
I've been on a huge Twin Peaks deal lately. It's like my new favorite thing in life. And before I bought this box set, the number one hottest Blu-ray that I had in my collection that was like the sexiest and best packaged was the Criterion Scanners. David Cronenberg
Amazing.
fucking deal. I mean, they had this dude do all these amazing illustrations. There's all these interviews. The special features are great. It's got like, it's so nice, you know. It's got this little book. You know,
For all the
it's
kidlets
like,
out there that have not seen Scanners, tell them what's it about. Brief.
Connor Williamson did all these really rad stuff. Scanners is about, there's like a corporate spy thing going on, and these corporations are trying to create a psychic telekinetic type person, and they have succeeded. And then you have all these different factions kind of warring
They're
between
using
each other.
pills, similar to the MK Ultra we were talking about earlier.
Well,
they're using
yeah.
pills to create these
Well,
people.
it was like they were putting they were actually giving pregnant women this drug for nausea that was a side effect. They found out was like kids were getting their telepathy or telekinetics, and it's a little bit of both. It's weird. It's its own thing, but
and it's very Cronenberg, which
It's
is the only way
so
to describe it
weird.
because
One
he's
of the
such a
best
style.
Cronenberg movies.
it's my
of all time.
favorite. It's one of my super fave Cronenberg movies. I
Cronenberg,
mean,
who also did The Fly, for those that don't know.
and I love The Brood as well. That's kind of the
so
same
many
era.
classics. So many classics.
But yeah, this is a really great Blu-ray though. I mean,
I didn't see that when I was a kid, but I saw The Fly many times, and that was one of the movies that really disturbed me when I was a kid growing
Oh
up.
yeah,
I as
body
well.
horror.
I as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
It was one of those. It was a life-changing event.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
totally.
If I could digress for a moment, though,
Sure.
one of Garbage Man's favorite movies happens to be Scanner Cop, which is the funniest, most fucked
Scanner
up
Cop.
take on the scanner
I've
situation.
not seen Scanner
Yeah.
Cop.
You have done yourself a disservice, my friend.
Oh,
Scanner Cop is probably the worst kind of break-off movie of a great
Spin-off.
movie I've
And
ever
David
seen in my
Cronenberg
life.
did not
Yeah.
do it.
No,
It's
no affiliation
attachment.
whatsoever. But I mean, even
This is
to
a
the
B.
point.
This is a B movie ripoff.
Oh yeah. You know,
Of
if
a
you
cult
could
film.
Okay, we take Scanners, the original movie, and I think Scanners even takes place in Canada. Is that
Yes,
the case? Okay,
yes.
yeah. So then we jump to Los Angeles, early '90s LAPD Daryl Gates situation with a policeman who has scanner capabilities, and even the sound effects for the original Scanners are great for when they're mind melding and all that.
The
Scanner
fucking
Cop couldn't even get that right. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
it's just the worst fucking noise you've ever heard. So throughout the whole movie, you're just ratcheted with this horrible noise.
How do you fuck that up? Because it's so good. Like the one of the biggest reasons I love Scanners is like the sound design, where it's like,
great.
wow.
It's great.
Wow.
It's a great, especially at that time. But another thing about Scanner Cop. The lead in Scanner Cop could definitely bat it all out with the lead from Scanners for worst actor of all time.
Oh man, how
I
do
mean,
you beat fucking that dude,
That
man?
is a shame. That's the biggest problem with the movie.
It's the
it
biggest
probably would
flaw.
be super famous if it weren't for that one
Well,
aspect.
that's just a testament to how good the movie is. The
Yeah.
lead
Yeah.
actor sucks, and the movie's still great.
Yeah.
How do you fuck that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
and this
amazing.
is not like even offensive to say because even everyone
Yeah.
admits it.
Well,
Oh.
Stephen Lack, actually, that's the name of the actor. He has an interview in here, and he admits that he's terrible. He knows that he's terrible. He's like, I didn't have any fucking training. Like, I wasn't a
He
real
just
actor.
came out of theater. He had never done a movie
Yeah,
before.
he had done some weird movie that Cronenberg liked that was some avant-garde bullshit, and then he's just like, be in my movie, and he's like,
Yeah.
sure, and then he's like, fuck, I'm not a good actor, you
Sounds
know?
like a John Peters was on set.
yeah.
No, my cousin's he's starring in this movie. You understand?
I loved the
yeah.
I love the Michael Ironside interview in this. Michael Ironside plays the villain Daryl Daryl Revick, and it's like, oh, Daryl Revick is so fucking cool.
It's amazing.
So rad. He does such a great performance in it, and his
best.
fucking interview is like, he's such a humble, fucking awesome dude with like the best stories, and like he's just so fucking cool. Like I would love to meet Michael Ironside. I was super fangirl on him.
Only heard good things. Ironside seems like a real trooper
Dude,
for the
he
independent
is.
film game.
He
He's down
is.
for those original movies, hitting it up on the
Oh
solid.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he ran away from home essentially to just be an actor and was just like, fuck this. I mean,
Good for him.
he was saying that like 1 week he'd be like, you know, in Scanners, the next week he's like a PA on another film. You know, I mean, he was just doing whatever he could to get the fuck out of his shitty situation, you know.
Michael
like,
Ironside,
Yeah.
a dream for
Well,
every kid with
You
pockmark
know, this
scars.
is this is a great reason why we're doing this Blu-ray segment, is to talk about the special features, the things that no one ever talks about.
Yeah,
on
I
these
love
Blu-rays.
special features.
So yeah, really great interviews on that.
But now though, Twin Peaks, this box set takes the fucking cake. I have never
the
seen
cake on special features.
No, a cake on everything.
Okay.
I have never seen a box set with more loving care put into it. It's like, okay,
Tell us about it.
So you have Laura's fucking face on the front, and then there's like a little, you can see her dead face in there, but it's like, that's actually cracked, like there's like a division, you know, it's like down there. And then if you feel her dead face, there's like her eyeball has like a little thing underneath it to make it feel like an eyeball.
Texture.
And her nose,
There's a skin
it has
texture.
a texture on it that you can feel the features of her face. And then, okay.
That dead texture.
Let the garbage man get a finger in there. Baby.
Yeah. Feel that eyeball in
I
there.
lost my sense of feeling years ago.
So weird. And then you open
Show
it.
the camera that. Yeah.
Then you open it up, you know, and it's like you have these nice little deals here, and you have your little discs, and it, you know, keeps going. You have season 1, season 2. All the discs have special features and episodes. Then you go all
But
the
as
way
you go
down.
through that, it's like a discovery process.
No, it's a total discovery process. Then you get to Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me,
which is the movie.
which is the movie, and then you also have a disc of special features with that, although it's downstairs in my Blu-ray player. And then, though, the best part of this whole thing was
There's a clue in there.
like at the very bottom of the box. So you get to the end of it, and it's just dirt, you know, on the ground. But I was like looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, and I opened it, and on the inside,
Oh my gosh, what is that?
there's a little Fire Walk with Me piece of paper, like from the movie where this is found at the crime scene in the train car. Oh my gosh, they really got me with this one. I love it. This
All right,
is,
so
I'm a
that's,
consumer whore for
a
this
real-
fucking box set.
No, that's
Amazing.
a fans. Adorable. They put more effort than was needed to sell it into that.
I mean,
That's
just
good.
so much
That's
effort.
A piece of art in that
And
packaging.
they had some really great special features. There's a really great featurette with David Lynch. He sits down with the Palmer family now, all the actors, and they do two different. It's called like Between Two Worlds. And so they sit down with one, and they do it in black and white. They, you know, make it black and white, and then he talks to each of them as if like they're in their characters, and he's like, "What are you doing now? What is life like for you now?"
Oh,
or
really?
"You've been dead for 25 years.
Oh,
what do you,
David.
you know?" Da 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 da. And like all three of them, you know, you have Ray Wise. I can't remember Sarah Palmer's name. Grace something. Grace. Anyways. And then Cheryl Lee, you know, and they all just give these killer fucking like interviews with him as their characters. And then it switches and it goes back to full color, and then they just talk about their experiences, and he interviews them about their experiences, like working on Twin Peaks. And it was just so, like, it was so good. Like I don't know, I'm just so into it right now. Like, I read Laura's Secret Diary. I just got Dale Cooper's autobiography
See, that
in the
blew
mail.
I didn't know the Dale Cooper thing even existed.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
and there's even like audio of Kyle MacLachlan doing tapes
What?
too. But
He read it.
he
gave
also-
an audio version.
I think so, but I don't
Please tell me
know.
he does a little boy voice for the
I don't know
early years.
about that. See, I haven't listened to it yet. It's on YouTube, and I need
Oh,
to listen
Kyle,
to it.
you
Somebody
kill
on
me every
Twitter
time.
send me that. Send
You
me that
have
link.
been doing endless research into Twin Peaks over
Yes.
the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And it almost seems as if there's no end in sight.
No, there is,
I feel
unfortunately.
like you've almost absorbed it all.
I'm getting to the end of it.
Is this leading to something?
Well,
It might be.
maybe, I don't know. I've got an idea for maybe an epic history Twin Peaks kind of
I
situation.
know. I would like to see that.
You know?
Would anyone else like to see that?
I think it'd be helpful.
They probably would, and we might be able to make it. That's just the downside that I don't think Twin Peaks show is all that popular just yet.
Well, no, but
It
here's
might
the
have a
thing, though.
resurgence next year.
Well, they
Come on,
are
kids, get
having.
on
And
it.
if we make something that costs us a lot of money, like this ambitious idea that you have, just
not
that we might
ambitious,
not
it's, you
be able
know.
to afford it.
You know, it's just, well, I mean, I would need to get funding to like build a new set and stuff, because I'd want to make it the Red Room and like sit in the Red Room. I'd want to like And get it like a nice black dress that looks kind of like Laura's.
Some red curtains. And
yeah, I gotta get a bunch of red curtains and some of those
zigzag
like rugs,
carpet.
the zigzag rugs. I've already looked them up on Google how much they are.
Whoa.
So we'll see. We'll
All right,
see.
well, let's not tease people.
But I've been actually
All right.
like writing a script. It's like really ridiculous for it, and I've also been working on a Twin Peaks art project. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but
Okay. So that was really good. That was a good Blu-ray segment. I want to buy some of those movies now.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you haven't watched Twin Peaks, like definitely, like this is worth
Oh, it's
the
on
money.
Netflix now.
It's on Netflix. If you don't have any money and you just have a
Never
Netflix
had the
account.
chance.
But if you do have the money, I would highly recommend buying the box set, and it's super fun. Although, I mean, it isn't for everybody. I mean, the show's like it is. Really
Definitely
weird.
not. I feel like it's a show that's going to lose half of the people that ever try watching it.
Well, it's a very cult. It has a very devoted cult following.
Yeah.
That's how art works.
But that's the thing. It's like I've always known that I would love this show, but I specifically held off on watching it because like I don't know. I have this weird thing where I know when I'm not supposed to like watch or read something yet. Like there's a lot of books that I still haven't read that I'm like I know I'm gonna love it, but I just have to wait till I'm ready. Like when I get a message from the universe to read it, or watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And so finally Twin Peaks
So it's
finally
your time. Came around.
And I'm glad that I'm watching it now because even if I watched it 3 years ago, like I don't think I would have understood it the way I understand it now after like doing all the weird like occult research I've been doing for the past few years.
Absolutely. I mean, I would assume only 2% of people that ever watch the show have any idea what's really going on.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You can't explain everything. I mean, it doesn't make logical sense all the time. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be surrealist and take you out of like logical thought.
Yeah.
But that being said, there still is, in my opinion, like the understory. The theme is like very logical and simple, and I'd love to explain it to people of like kind of what's really going on.
Yeah, and that would take a long time to do because you can't just say
No.
in 2 minutes what you thought about
You
it.
really can't. You really can't.
Damn you, David Lynch.
I know. I already have like 4 pages written, and that's like I still have like 2 major sections I need to write. So it's like,
Okay. Well, okay, let's, we've done a very good job today.
All right.
Everything worked out really well. Let's do our calls to action and inform some people of things that are going on. Remind people about X-Men real quick. Number 1.
Yeah, definitely go check out our Epic History X-Men Volume 2, The Phoenix Saga on Vimeo On Demand.
The documentary film that we made.
Yes, it's super awesome. There's a link in the
Garbage Man
description.
loved it.
I helped make it too. I'm responsible.
Oh, yeah. Actually,
That's
Garbage Man did contribute to Volume 1, not Volume 2.
Oh, that's right, Volume 1.
Yeah.
You were the voice of, who was it?
Some soldiers and stuff.
Right, you were the voice of the Army soldiers.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did some drawings too.
Yeah.
And I
Some
did
Photoshop.
everything.
Yeah, he did
Man
it.
was
We
the
didn't-
Photoshop artist
didn't do
expert
it.
behind
Fuck you.
a lot of those animations. Okay, and remind everyone about the next PLOPCAST that we have coming up on comic books.
Yeah, we got one coming up on comic books. I got to get read up, though. I'm like a little behind.
You better hurry.
I
We're going to
know.
film that in 2 or 3 days.
Oh, geez.
And remember to subscribe, like, follow, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have all of those. Facebook, here's a tip. If you go to our page and you click put these followings at the top, you will actually see the things that we want to tell you about.
Yeah, if you
because
like
if you don't,
us,
you might never see it.
Yeah, if you like us on Facebook and you actually want to see like updates from us, you need to specify that because otherwise you're just not going to see shit.
That's very unlike Facebook.
They kind of it's like they got some weird algorithms.
They've
and then
changed it in the last few
they
months
cock
a year.
blocking and they want you to pay
They're
to boost your
cock blocking. Oh, yeah.
post and. But I've heard that there's algorithms and stuff too where they're trying to give you what they think you want in your feed versus like what you sign up for necessarily.
Yeah, very interesting. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah. So that's it. For
At least he's not the MySpace guy, Tom. So
Tom's my boy. I had a lot of fun during the MySpace days.
Tom's a garbage man right now himself.
Garbage Man got laid a lot on MySpace.
Okay.
Facebook, not so much.
Wrap us up.
So that's it. I'd like to thank T-Bone and the Garbage Man for being
thank
here
you.
today.
Yeah.
And we will catch you later.